Friends, comrades, I am Admiral Andre and I welcome you back to Transport Fever. This is the second episode of the Panama Canal mission and welcome. Where we left off last time, we were just getting into the heart and soul of this actual mission. So that's of course moving the stone from the canal dig site to the two dam and lock construction areas. So our train has just left there. And you can see, because the railroad itself was constructed in a very smooth way, and I'm not blowing my own horn here, so to speak, I'm just saying it has helped, it certainly moves very fast. And the first time that I played this mission, I built a railroad that was all over the place, and as I mentioned in the last episode, I even had a multiple rail system, one for just passengers and one for just the stone, but it really occurred to me that we can make it one and the same. So we use the infrastructure that we have more effectively. At any rate, we are in a financial quagmire at the moment. We've already taken on one of our grants, I guess you can say, although it really is a loan, but we don't pay any interest on it. We've only got one more, which is $2 million, but I want to keep that as an emergency measure. So this train now must make money. The others will also make a bit of money because they're still moving planks to the swamp areas, as well as food and logs to the worker site there in Cologne. We can actually see we've completed 2 of the swamp draining sites as at this point, 2 and 3. But they will still keep accepting planks, as you can see there, which is a good thing, because I guess they made it like that so we can keep getting some money while we wait for the system to get online. But there's nothing wrong with that, because we can say that the draining of the swamps actually takes a lot more materials than they expected at first. So let's take a ride on this train. Already got it selected, while I have got some tea here. And that was a lovely bridge, I think. You can say that there's a lot of wildlife here that will at least spare being, evicted from their forest home, because we built over the forest and not through it there. But we still have to be mindful of the golden frog. You've still got 0 stone. Why is that? It still says no, it's not using it. Ah, okay. How interesting is that? When I built this station here, I made sure that it still covered this dam site. And you can remember that's when I built this little extension here. It definitely still covered it, but right now it only gets this far. So we're going to have to manipulate the roads here a little bit. That's a very unfortunate thing. And it shows you how this game can catch you out sometimes. Now we don't even have any money. This is a problem. I'm going to have to take out that other loan now. That is really bad, but again I can justify it by saying that the mission actually requires us to spend all of the money that we can get our hands on, so there we go. No, this won't do at all. No. How will I do this now in a neat way? Actually, let me delete this existing one. No, straight on please, thank you, and then a nice curve like that. That should do it. There we go. Now it works. Oh, what have I just done? No, are you crazy? I still had the delete thing selected. Ah, blast. Oh well. Being punished for my insolence, I guess. Just make sure it's got 2 tracks again. Oh, I can't believe that. No, seriously? Oh well. I haven't got it selected now. I just wanted to see, there we go, that it still covers the thing. Alright, well, that was a bit of a mistake, so now you've seen what not to do. And hopefully now it will recognize that the thing is connected. It will say line usage yes once it actually activates. Drain swamps. Okay, we've done that now. It's complete. All of the swamps have been drained. So that thing where they said we'll face higher costs until it's done has now been resolved. And there we go. Line usage, yes. Brilliant. Unfortunately, it's going to make another trip empty now. So that was a bit of a slip up there, unfortunately. And we have to keep in mind that the canal must be operational by 1924. Which is actually more lenient than in real life. In real life it was 1914 that the canal opened, so they're actually being quite gracious with us. Alright, let it just go, it's quite fast. Now, if we just see again, here's now, whenever there's a point where you can, just you're waiting for something, you can just tend to the frog again. We see it's now at 56% and it's still rising, so just from this little bit of forest that we planted, it actually made a huge difference. I guess again we can justify it logically by saying, even though it's only a small area of habitat, it connects the broader sort of forest system. You can see there's also a connection there, so the frogs can migrate through here or something like that, even though there's a road in the way, but anyway. So let's plant some more trees. Still here, I think, why not? Just go to that tool again, and I want the broadleaves, not the conifers. And something about, I think about here, on this ridge basically. I suppose these green areas will become nature reserves. Just like that, while we're waiting anyway. It's unfortunate that we can only plant one tree at a time, but at least it can be dragged. There we go. Something like that, so the forest extends out a little bit now. That's it, just like that, why not? Especially because these are like mountainous rainforests, I think, in Panama, so it sort of fits the theme, on the higher level areas. Hey, and we've got some stone, a good amount, so let's see if this is a good payday for us. And I still don't like that little jump that it does over the road, so I have to fix that at some point, but when we have money to do that, and I better keep this money. You see how quickly it's disappearing. 1.3 million, there you go. You see, this is the key to the financial success, at least in the first phase of this mission. And then the next step for me is now to double the whole track. And the reason then again is because we want passengers going on the same track from Panama City to Colón. Again, I don't understand why there's two standard tracks there, but nevertheless, I know one becomes high speed later. Here we go. This is quite an expensive venture now, but maybe I can use this opportunity if I pause the game to fix this. If we just go to the level, you see that the train goes up, then it goes down, then it goes a bit up again. I don't like this. Let's try and fix it, or at least make it a bit smoother. Does that make a difference? It does dig a bit into it there. Yes, oh yes, look at that, much nicer. Completely irrelevant, but still for me I like to do that. Can just run on medium speed now. Alright, so here we get an issue now. Construction is not possible. So while it's still much easier to build tracks over roads now in Transport Fever than it was in Train Fever, when they still meet at sharp angles we can still get a bit of a problem sometimes. So I'm wondering now, I guess we can just divert it a little bit more into the nature reserve area, unfortunately. That is a pity. Let me stop again and fix this. Maybe there's a better way. And I think I can do that by actually building the outside one first. Let's just see, is this... No, I don't want this. No. You see, why does it go up and then back down? Why doesn't it just stay on the same level? Let me just actually go to the landscaping tools. Large brush, please. Thank you. Just level this bit of terrain off. Nothing to do with the mission whatsoever, but I did warn you in a previous one that I do tend to play quite slowly, and anyway, it's not an expert playthrough. So why do you still do this little jump here? But it's an uneven one. No, I don't like that. No. Let's build it a bit onwards and then try and connect it. That's much better, I think. There we go. And now hopefully we'll be able to build the other one as well. But now did I mess it up? I can't believe that. I built the wrong side. Yeesh. Oh well. It still goes at 120, which I want to maintain as far as possible. Okay, all problems sorted, back to normal, thank you very much. At least most problems sorted. You see what the road does now, it has this very sharp little dip there. But that's just for the road, while the trains run I can fix that. If I can, by the way. There we go. Oh no, now that's too wide a road. There we go. All sorted out. Very good. So at least there is a lot more flexibility with road and rail construction, because the train fever would never have allowed me to build a road over a track like that. So there we go. And while we wait for the train to come back, I can just flatten this terrain a bit more. Because we anyway need to wait for a bit more money so I can buy another train. Oh well, that's nice enough. Where are you at the moment? Are you full? Yes, it's full. Brilliant. Now, actually, what I'm going to plan now, and this is of course the benefit of hindsight. I have played through all of the missions on my own already, so I'm learning from my own mistakes. And you can see, because we need to ship twice as much stone to Dam West than to Dam East, I guess there's more complicated lock construction happening there. I'm going to wait until we've shipped 1,000 to Dam West before I start shipping to Dam East, so that we just even it out. And when it comes to the dump sites, I've got a thing in mind there. I will have one train, maybe two, I don't know. Maybe I'm not as clear on that as I thought I was. What I did last time is I had one train go to the dump site, back to the other dump site, back, and that's how I kept them even, because that's one of our mission requirements. But we can worry about that once the dams are actually finished. Let me just continue with the doubling of the rail line. Very nice. So now at least we've got a very attractive rail line here. There we go. And yes, it is a bit expensive to double all of the tunnels and bridges, but it will cost less than the original. You can see this section costs 1.06, but it cost almost 2 million to build originally. And that's again because this one benefits from the landscaping that was necessary for the other bridge. Not a lot, but it still helps a little. That's why it is worth doubling your tracks, I think. Oh, and that's so nice. Panama is going to become one of the most advanced transport system countries in the world, in my imagination anyway. So let's see, in Panama City now, which is of course the capital of Panama, we have got to build a nice station here. I think this can just have a single track because it's a dead end. So if we go to passengers, terminal station, let's just take one track, and 160 meters should be fine. If we need to run another train, it will be fine because they won't meet at the station at the same time. So if we just have a look at the actual layout of Panama City, then we can see the downtown area is right there, and it's actually quite open and exposed for us to build. But it might just be better to start off with an angle there. So unfortunately somebody's house is going to be demolished again. If possible, I'd just like to get away with demolishing one house and not two, and certainly not those very bright ones, because those are ones with very high occupancy. This one here, but it's slightly offset from the junction here, which could be a bit of a problem. Let me build the smallest road from there. Oh, it can work. Oh yes, and we don't need a very big road here because it's not, sorry people, it's not going to carry a lot of traffic. See, when I build anything, the people vanish, they go back to their houses. Alright, so now to get the angle right there. Something like that, that's very nice. So they can still expand here, and we will connect the rest of the town with buses. I just want the rail infrastructure in place first, especially before this little street expands further. Something like that, there we go. And then we just have to meet up with this one. I think this is working out much better than my last attempt. So we just have to decide which one of these two tracks will be that one. I guess the one on the right. Expensive again. Must be the steel one. And alright, let's pay. Now they can just meet up very nicely here. Voila, there we go. So it's 120 kilometers an hour the whole way. So of course we don't have a train that can do that yet, but at least we've got the capacity to do it. Then we have to just continue the line from the dam west side to Colón. So let's just first get the station in place. And we're going to go past the dump site. So I don't know what's going to happen one day when this is underwater. Like they said, the dump sites will be underwater eventually, but we don't get to see that in the mission, so we don't have to worry about that. So what if we actually put it here by the bridge? That will be fine, I think. It's not near the center, unfortunately. That would be around there. Maybe we could put it there, but I don't want to demolish again the more expensive houses. Something like that perhaps. Then it's not so far out of town. Okay, let me just do my old trick again and just build a piece of road so I'm sure I'm not destroying more than one house. Sorry. And that should do. There we go. So eventually the people, I'm sure, will be very happy with all of this, and the money keeps rolling in, so we will have to step up our game a lot because we're not shipping nearly enough stone, but given the time constraints, of course, but at least once this is done and the whole track is doubled, we will be able to ship a lot more stone. So this one must go, I guess, again we'll use the right hand one. Okay, gotta be careful, we can't cross that dump site. And I do want to keep the speed up if at all possible. Unfortunately that's a bit of a problem now. This is the consequence of playing the TGV mission where you have to be very focused on high speed, so I've now sort of developed that as a bit of a habit, I guess. If I can just start turning it a bit earlier. Unfortunately, it won't cooperate. Oh well, it'll just have to slow down a little here. It's very, very finicky there. Oh well. Something that we can always fix later on. So now the main part of the track has been doubled, so we can now increase the shipments of stone. I just have to now, before we get started with anything, do my old trick again of building the switches and the signals. So I want them to again always travel forward on the right side. So when it comes into the station there, I want it traveling directly but switching to go out of the station. So that means there has to be a signal right around there somewhere, just to have it wait if there's another thing in the station. And we've got to build a couple of signals, especially if we will also have passenger services on here. Quite a number actually, so again, just bear with me. I can put it on medium speed at least, and then we can fit another switch or signal set in between the station there, somewhere there. I don't mind if it stops over the road. Then here, I'm not going to build a switch here yet, that can come a bit later. And let's put a signal set up here. This is not too steep. I don't want the train stopping on a very steep incline. Somewhere down here. Then definitely somewhere in between the station and the bridge again. And that should cover the whole thing, but there's one more thing I have to do, and that is right here. So again, the depot is actually well placed because it will need to go on the right hand side to enter the station, but then after that we need another switch where it will actually go to the left. So let me see if I can pull that one off. Oh yes, no problems. Alright, so at this point there needs to be a signal. And for the depot, if there's a train coming out of the depot and there's something ahead of it that's blocking it, it must just wait there. Okay, now where is the train at the moment? Okay, it's coming back. So by the time that it reaches the other side again, I will get another train. And you can see the demand is piling up like crazy. Which is actually now, while I'm thinking about it, let me just stop there. We've got another medal that we have to look at. Landslide. If you dig too quickly through the Culebra passage, you're risking a landslide, but it does demonstrate a great deal of motivation. Increase the maximum production of the quarry fourfold, and it was at 100, so the limit is now 400, but it has to actually produce about 400, I would say, more or less. I'm not sure, I didn't achieve this last time. And I'm not sure what the effect will be on the actual construction, but that's one of our goals, so we'll see if we can pull that one off. And you can see they're actually building the canal now, but they're obviously not connecting it to the water yet. That would not be a very wise move on their part. So what I can do also is just to, actually I can buy the train first, so I want to make the same configuration. So we'll have another Atlantic. With how many cars did that one have? So it was 84 stone. Let's just make it the same so that the speed will be exactly the same, and we don't have enough money. So it anyway has to reach the other station before we can afford the rest of them.
We have received additional funds and should use it to hire more people. We can hire a bunch of islanders from the Caribbean. They toil like crazy, and that for only a handful of silver coins. That would certainly increase our profit margin. Or we can pay a few engineers in expensive gold coins to supervise the work and to ensure that things aren't constantly breaking down. That should have a positive impact on our operating costs.
Okay, the timing was a bit off there. The second I pressed delete to clear those windows for the trains, this one came up and I accidentally also closed it, but he was still speaking. So what we've got to do is we have a choice. We have to gold or silver. We can hire a bunch of islanders from the Caribbean for silver coins. So in other words, very low skilled, unpaid, or not unpaid, but practically unpaid labor. Or we can pay skilled engineers with gold coins. In other words, we give them a lot more money, but then things won't break down, so our operating costs will be lower. So it's either our profit, no, let me see, either our operating costs will be lower, or I guess our labor costs. Oh, it says down here. So it's vehicle operating costs or vehicle revenue. I don't know. I like the idea of reducing the operating costs, so I'm going to do that. Let's pay skilled people. It's anyway better, you know. We want to make sure our vehicles don't just break down every second. And I also don't want to be a brutal employer that's underpaying my workers, and exploiting islanders. So we've got now here 4. Let me just see how many was 84, I believe. There we go. So let's set it on the line quickly. Lovely. So now we've got 2 of the Atlantics running. Let's just watch the train here as it loads up. There we go. Very impressive sight. I do like to take a moment just to appreciate things from time to time. So anyway, let's see, how are things going here now? While this stone business is happening, we can actually just take a second to make sure we've got the other fundamentals going well. So we've got 52. What's the demand for wheat at the moment? 50. So the limit is 50, unfortunately. But let me see the potential. Is 83. Try to deliver more grain. So, okay, let's do that. Let's see what happens. I like that they give you a bit of advice there. So let's see. Let's get 2 more. Wheat. So that's where I made the mistake of looking for a wheat car. But anyway, let's just have a look at our profits. Oh, lovely. Green across the board. Can you get anything better than that? I love these tools that they gave us now. We can see at a glance what's happening. We can even sort it. Obviously, our trains are making the most money. The logs are making the least, but that's alright. We can maybe add a few more. Let's just see. Yes, obviously they're getting a bit less logs because the distance is greater, but we can add, let's say, another 2 steam lorries. 1, 2, and this is for the workers again, so this is colon logs. Alright, I actually looked these up, these steam lorries, because I was intrigued by this idea of using steam as on a vehicle, on the roads. And it seems this was more prevalent in Europe, but it was in other places as well. And actually it was so interesting. It almost looks like a car, but obviously you have to keep feeding the thing to make steam. So interesting. I wonder if we shouldn't start doing that again. But then what will we use for fuel? Can't just use more coal. That's not going to be good for the environment. So I guess it has to be something more innovative, like fuel cells or something. Anyway, just rambling again. Where are the trains? So the one is now on its way. The other one has left. This should be a nice view. Ah, lovely, yes. Excellent. So, obviously they'll have to wait a bit when the passengers are also busy here, because definitely they'll have to share the line. But the good thing is the signal system will help a lot. Let me just set up the passenger line while I'm talking about that, and we've got some money available. So it has to be this one on the right hand side. Not too terrible, at least. $4 million. Excellent. This is where we have to keep spending money now as part of our mission requirements. We can't get up to $10 million. We have to stay under 10. Which I think is actually going to be harder, because anytime we spend money on something that will make more money, we're only going to have more problems. But I don't mind if I don't finish that particular medal. Having too much money is never a problem. Somewhere back there. Alright, so that's good. So we just need a few signals. I guess we can fit about 2 in here. So somewhere here. And just before it starts the sharp climb to the bridge. And another maybe here. This will just help. We don't need a switch here, I think, because at that point it's already going forward on the right and back on the left. So I might just put a set of signals here. There we go, just so that if there is a train somewhere in the station, it doesn't have to wait the whole time. Okay, I think that will sort the problems there. Although, do I need this here? I don't actually need this here, to be honest. The reason is because it will be going forward on the right hand side, but the trains will always stop on the left side platform. So the ones coming here from the right must stop, but that's why we've already got that signal. So that's good. Now I just need to double this part of the track and we're in business. What's the year? 1910. So we've got 14 years left, but I think we're making good progress. More than a quarter of the stone has been moved to Dam West. There we go. So again, same thing, signal here somewhere, but I've made the mistake several times now in my own playing to put the signal too far to the front, so that the train is actually overlapping the other track a little, and then it creates a blockage there. So it has to be back enough to allow the other one to pass. Then let's see, we can have a signal here. And another one here, just to future-proof it so we can have several trains running. Nice. And then I'm wondering, what shall we do about Gamboa? I think Gamboa is always going to be a stop on the way to Panama City or Colon. It's never going to be a case of going from Colon to Gamboa and then back. So we don't have to build switch systems in here, I think. Now I just have to see. Obviously the trains will have to stop when they when there's another one in the station there. So I'm just putting some signals up here. They will anyway, but the problem is they will stop here at the last signal if there's a train in the station, and it might as well stop right there to save some time. And then the same I think with this one. Let's just make sure of that. Although here again, the passenger trains will never stop here. So it's the same principle that we had at Panama City. So as long as it's got the one on the right hand side, I don't think we'll ever have a problem. Okay, let's create the route. And this one will be from Colon to Gamboa to Panama City. There we go. Now what shall this one be called? Let's call this one the Panama Canal Railway. It's not really got anything to do with a canal now, but it is definitely linked to it since it's just moving people alongside it. Then, oh no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Go back to the railway. It has to go back to stop at Gamboa after Panama City. Always has to stop in the middle. Almost forgot about that, to be honest. And then before we do anything else, I've got to get the bus services up in the city so that when the rail lines start moving, there's already access to it from the other parts of the towns. So I'll just have a look here. Obviously I want them to stop right here. I like to pause to do this because otherwise I'm going to keep deleting the population. You see there, they're walking there right now. And if I put the station where's the closest one? Here. See what happens to them and the cars. They vanish. And I don't think they vanish. I think they just get sent back to their origin. But still, that just is going to upset everything if that keeps happening. So I want to take care of it all at once. Then let's have one stop by the corner there so those people can reach it. Then somewhere here. If I put it in the middle, I don't know if that's good because they can only cross the roads here by the intersection. So it's better to maybe put it up there since they anyway have to walk that way. Then let's have one go there somewhere and then by the middle of the city up there somewhere. And then how far down here will we go? Just to the corner there. They can just walk that little bit surely and then it connects back. Excellent. So new line, and this just follows the stations now very easily. Wait, did I do this now correctly? Yes, I did. No, but this was now wrong. Remove. There we go. Then that one, and then back to King's Road there. Also, just have to name it. Panama City Bus. And just do the same for the others. Again, just bear with me here. Especially this one is very important because it's so far out of town. And I just want to make it as easy as possible for people to reach my train service. Can stop here. By the corner there. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I think they will develop this road further. So we might as well stop there, even if it means having to turn around again. You see, very interesting. This comes down to where the people cross the road. If I build the stop right here, you see it covers all the buildings down the road. You see they're all highlighted. But if I actually put it closer to them, you see that last building is now not covered anymore. What happens is at that point, it's actually longer for this person to walk down, cross the road and walk back up. Since he can't cross there, there's no crossing at this end of the street. So we might as well just put one here, since it still covers the house. And one right there. Does that do it? No, I'm not happy. I want one more there. Just make it as easy as possible. And what next? This one, this one, this one, and that one. There we go. So this is Gamboa City Bus. Now just one more, so we're almost done. And for this one, let's just see, where is the station again? It's actually right next to a large housing complex, so that's a really great thing. But I still want to make it easy for people to travel. So let's put one right there. And I think that pretty much covers this whole area. I could just put one more down here because again, this looks like a place where they're going to expand in the future. Then let's put one down here in the center of the city and one up here since there is a crossing. Then one down there. Very important again to just think about the way that you plan your routes. Not that I'm claiming to be an expert at that. Somewhere there, and then finally, no, not finally, there's still a lot to do. Somewhere there, and then there. Okay, now I'm happy with that. So let's just, what have I just done? I just plopped another one. I shouldn't click where I'm not supposed to, but anyway. So where do we start again? Just have to not be confused. Let's just pick a bright color so I can see it very clearly. So we go from there to there. Then we go through back down there to this other stop now. Then here. This one. This one. And I think that's it. Yes, that's all of them. Don't want to miss any. Okay. So this is Cologne City Bus. And now I can run the clock again. So another huge setup, but at least now the people will recover very quickly at the same time all over the town. You see there's the first one now. Eventually they'll start coming out of the houses again and the cars will start driving again and so on. Hey, the frog is up to 74%. Of course, if we start destroying its habitat, it will fall again very rapidly. So now I can, just while the clock is now running, because this won't delete the people, just see, I can just put the vehicle one right here on the end with the industries, since that's anyway a quiet area of town. This one still needs one as well. Let's just have a look there again. Not many industries in Gamboa. I guess it's more of a residential town. Here we go, and finally somewhere here in the forest. Luckily this is not one of the frog's habitats, but still. Or maybe not there. There we go. Let's use the spaces that we have. Now, city bus, we've only got the one option, the Mac, and let's make them all different colors just because. So Cologne sounds like a very sunny place, so I'm going to make it a nice orange, and we'll have 10 of them. I like 10 for some reason. And this must be Cologne city bus, there we go. Then Gamboa sounds to me like it's deep in the forest there, and it's a very green area. So let's make the buses green. They are already, but I want them to be a more dark green, so we'll take that one. This one can have 7. Just because I don't think the town is big enough for 10 yet. Gamboa city bus, and you can actually, I didn't even know this, you can change a road depot into a tram depot. Interesting. Just accidentally clicked on that. Then, what last? Let's see. For Panama, I want 15. Panama sounds, let's see, what color would fit with Panama City? So we've got orange, we've got green, so blue for the Pacific Ocean, so maybe quite a dark blue. And 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Set line, Panama City bus. So all of the basics are taken care of at least. Let's have a look at this. Oh, that does look nice, doesn't it? Nice royal blue. And there's our driver, a very distinguished gentleman who appears to be reading a book instead of driving, but that's all okay. We sure have a lot of stone piling up here, and we're going to soon get that target, I think, of reaching the 400. Maybe I should start thinking about shipping the stone to the other dam site. Why not? Okay, this is going to be a dead-end station. And so it's going to curve around, and on the inside there I think is the best place to put it. So maybe just a small road there, and then a freight rail station, not a passenger one. I was almost about to make that mistake. I have done that before. It's a bit on an incline here, so it's going to have to be a bit like that. That's alright. Then we just hook them up there. I don't think we'll have 2 trains running there because it's so short distance. So we just have one branching out here somewhere and joining back again. Doesn't have to be very fast either. Okay, I like that road crossing anyway. And then it goes through. Let's just not build it all in one section. Here we go, that's nice. And now it has to obviously switch back to the right hand side of the track. So this is a place where there can be a lot of traffic jams now. So we have to be very careful about this. So the trains are coming down this bridge from the right. So they're on the left as we are looking at it now. So we have to put a signal here just to prevent this train from going into this traffic, into the oncoming traffic. And then also have another signal that just stops the trains coming from the right hand side from just rushing in front of it and then blocking all of the things there. So unfortunately this signal is a bit close now, but I think it will be okay. It's only going to be one train. Just have to set up the line now and just click there again and on the other side, and this is Dam East. Great, so that's done. For this one I'm a bit torn now. We can still get the Atlantic, but I don't want this one now to get completely ahead of the other one. Ah well, let's just do that and get the setup going and then see how it goes. Stone, 2, 3, 4. Money is not a problem. Oh, did we actually go over 10 million there? Or did I just save it at the last second? I don't know. I think we actually might have gone over. I didn't even notice that. So there we could now have lost one of our medals. It was 9 something when I bought the locomotive, so I think it might have been more than that. Oh well. So let's buy the other one now, once this one just gets out of the way here, so that we can get the passenger line running. I'll have 2 of them going, so that there's one each direction. And it's not carrying anything yet, because this is all just for Dam West still. One stops there, perfect, just as I had intended. So at the moment we still only have the Atlantic, the fastest one. But let's make this one the same dark blue as the buses in Panama City. So this one will represent Panama. Of course it will just travel anywhere anyway. By that one, and it's 100 kilometers. The 6-axle one is 110. But I don't want the clear story passenger car because it's only got a top speed of 80. So let's use the Pullman one. Then, well, they're all Pullman, but the biggest one. 1, 2, 3. Just have a look at the length again. Here we have to pay attention again. 160 is the max. Uh-oh, now I've done it. Okay, well, it's a little over, but I'll just save one of these for the other train. So, actually no, because I wanted a different color, so we get most of the money back. Panama Canal Railway, there we go. Good luck. Now, isn't that flashy? Wow. Let's follow it. So nice. Really a point of pride for Panama, as I imagine it anyway. Would love to visit Panama one day. Actually sail over the canal. So there we go. Now it should have a decent speed as well. It's got quite a number of cars attached, but I think it will handle it since most of the track has very gentle bends and inclines. Now it's still accelerating, but anyway, once it passes the river, I think I'll let the other one go. Or at least I'll buy the other one and then let it go. Things are going so much better than I was expecting, to be honest. And the frog is still rising up to 80, and I didn't have to plant that many trees. I just don't have to chop them down. And these swamp areas are still consuming our planks, as people keep battling the mosquitoes, I would imagine. Have a look at the costs again. Obviously the buses haven't been running enough, so and also the railway, of course. Dam East is also new, so we can excuse that. But everything else seems to be going very well. I might just get a few more of these steam lorries shipping logs to the sawmill. Let's say 3 more. Or 4, why not? And that must be Log Swamp, that's it. Just have to be sure. Although I do think it's quite at the limit, so let's actually also increase the swamp deliveries. 2 for each one. Planks, 1, 2, and you go to Swamp 1. 1, 2, you go to Swamp 2. And the same for Swamp 3, just to keep it generally even. So where is our famous Panama Canal train? I do think it is a bit heavy for that locomotive, to be honest. That's why it's still so slow. It should be going at 100, but anyway. Once it's more or less there, I think I can release the other one. So let's purchase it and make it the same orange as the Cologne buses. That should be nice. Thematically, you know. Linking coast to coast, unifying the country, but it's unified anyway, but still. And that was, I think, was it this one or the bright one? I think it was the bright one. Actually, just stop, I want to confirm. Yep. Okay, you can run again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's as much as I can get. That's it. So this one here is now waiting. Why are you waiting here? For a free path. Okay, stop. Just hold on. This is what I was saying about this having the potential to create a big mess. So it stopped here now because it must... No, I think, let me have a look here. I need to move these signals. This one should be right there, I think. Then it anyway unifies the two. Let's just see if this helps. There we go, all sorted. Just because it was a bit far to the other signal, so the train, I guess, had to wait for some reason. There we go, very nice. Where's the passenger thing? Has it passed already? Oh yes. And we get the Schaffhausen. I guess this is a passenger boat if I'm not mistaken. But it's quite irrelevant for us because the rivers are not connected yet. So no boats used in this mission, and we can't build any either. It's disabled. Let's take a trip through Panama in the early 1900s. There's the canal being constructed, so happy work going ahead. We just passed through the station and on to Cologne. It's a bit of a dip here, but that's alright. We go around, slow down a little unfortunately. And almost there. I love to immerse myself within the environments, and that's where imagination is also important, I think. Oh, and look at all these people. They're so happy now, they're celebrating this. We've got 4 passengers anyway, that's great. And something that I noticed, speaking of passengers, it used to be, and I think it still is, that when a house is reconstructed, like this one here, there was something there, but it was demolished to make room for construction. The people disappear that used to live in that house. But what happened in train fever is you would leave a station with a full, let's say a full complement of passengers, but by the time it arrived at the destination, some of the people had vanished, and that was why, because the buildings had been redeveloped. But in transport fever, The train will never lose passengers. No vehicle will ever lose passengers. I guess the people, even though the house might have been demolished, they still remain in the game for the duration of the journey that they are on, just so that you don't lose out on the money, because if they vanish halfway over the journey, you're obviously not getting paid for their trip. So I think that's just a nice thing for them to have looked at. So this one is now waiting. Why is... Okay, hold on. This train is waiting too long here. What's happening? You see, the other one has passed the signal now. There. So as soon as it passes that signal, this one ought to have moved. Let me just see what happens here. Now I'm just going to set it to reverse twice and see if it helps. Nope, it doesn't help. Okay, that's a problem. Ah, we have the landslide. Let me just see if anything changed here. Obviously not. But so, hey, we've done it. I didn't do that last time, so we've got so many, over 400 now being dug out here. So, excellent. And some of it is reaching Dam East already. But this is a problem now, man. What's happening here? Why are you waiting? You shouldn't be waiting. Unless it is... I don't know. There is nothing between any other signal. Unless I must just put a signal here. Let's see if that helps. Nope, waiting for free path. But my friend, the path is free the whole way. You've got... now it's even, you know, the other one is catching up now. Well, let's see, what is the reason for this now? Do I need to put another signal here? It shouldn't. It should just go on to the next signal. Waiting for free path. Now we can have a clash here. That is a problem now, because the other one is obviously waiting for this one to clear the way now. No, this is nonsense. This is a bit of a mess up. It should cross here. Oh, okay, I think what might be... No, but that can't be the problem. I was just thinking maybe this train is stopping too close to the switch, so the other one can't have clearance. But there was nothing here before. So what could be the problem? We had a similar thing here, and then putting a switch onto the other side solved it. Or no, actually closer there. But it's got one right there. So maybe one here? Let me just see. That didn't do anything. Oh dear. Now hold on. That's why. That's why. Okay. That makes sense. I never... Okay, let me just delete this. That's not necessary. And the same I think with this one. That was what happened. Yes. So... with these switches constructed, I've had this happen before, so I'm actually a bit embarrassed that I didn't fix this before I ran the clock there. The trains will keep running on that single line even if you build a double one. They don't recognize that there's a double one. But what you have to do now is just go back to the planning of the routes now. Let's see. For the passenger ones, it's not a problem. You see they're using both because both of them existed when the line was created for the first time. But now if we just look at Dam West here, let's fix this one first. All I have to do now is after it stops at Colon Branch, I have to add a station, which will be the next signal on the right hand side. It won't stop there unless there's a vehicle in front, but there we go. It now recognizes there's two tracks for it to use. Let's just see if it's the whole way. Yes, so it does switch back. Excellent, so that's fixed. Let's just fix the other one as well. Where is that one right now? Dam East. So you see there as well, it's not supposed to, it wants to go only on the one side because there's only one on this branch. So I have to just tell it now. After you reach, what's that one? I guess Gamboa East. Add a station, and that should solve it. No, that won't work. Remove, because that one is before the actual switch, so it has to be the next one. Voila, all sorted. Now things will be back to normal and back to our regular scheduled programming, so to speak. It should be anyway. There we go. I just have to move them. If they're stuck saying that they're waiting for a clear path, they don't recognize any changes that you make, so you just have to sort of wake them up by reversing them. There we go. All sorted. Let's see, how long is this episode now? I think I've been rambling too long now, so I better stop again, although I'm enjoying this so much I don't want to stop. So please forgive me for that if these episodes are a bit long. Anyway, so I'll stop here and see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave me. And keep playing Transport Fever. Have a fantastic day.